And hi everybody, welcome into the Buchanan Gymnasium. We are ready to go for some girls basketball action tonight. Between the Hempfield Black Knights and the Lebanon Cedars, the Black Knights coming in off a 3-game win streak. 2 of those coming on the road, including a big win Monday night against Warwick. Can they keep the momentum going against the 1-4 Cedars, who, quite frankly, their team is better than it seems like the record indicates. This is going to be a hard-fought game tonight. My colleague tonight is Ben Marinas, producer Connor Sensening. And Ben, this girls' team has not found a lot of success the past couple of years, but this season they've started out well.
Yes, Kasey, it's been a lot of tinkering thus far, trying to figure out what exactly works. There have been 2 main pillars of this team. That's senior Lindsay Dakota and freshman Lauren Moffett, who really handled a lot of the load for this team, and they have been excellent when called upon this season.
Jess Weinholt takes the first shot of the night. Weinholt, one of the 5 starters. Lindsay Dakota, Lauren Riggs, 2 seniors in there. And the 2 freshmen on this team, both starters now, Lauren Moffett and Autumn Cook. And there's Moffett getting the offensive rebound to put the first points of the night on the board for the Black Knights. Tell you what, Lauren Moffett has been outstanding so far this season.
Yes, she has been incredible. Speaking of incredible, Lindsay Dakota.
There is your honorable mention all-star from last year, and Lindsay Dakota's got her mind on bigger things this season as a senior. Dakota and Moffett both lead the team in points scored. Dakota with averaging, I believe, 9.6 points per game. Both Autumn Cook and Lauren Moffett averaged 6.2. And Hempfield has jumped out to an early 4-0 lead here. But Lebanon now, the Cedars up to shoot. At the line.
Looks like that foul's going to go against Moffett. You know, Hempfield would really rather have had that call against Cook there. It looked like it could have gone either way.
Sophia Bloup on the shot. And she'll shroud the first one to get the Cedars on the board. And number 2 bounces off, gets rebounded by Dakota. He was looking for Weinholt down the field in a foot race for it, and Weinholt gets to it. It's all about going over to Moffett, goes back to Dakota.
One of Dakota's hallmarks on this team for years has been playing in transition. You saw they're trying to get the ball out fast, and run the floor before Lebanon can get set. That's something she's found a ton of success doing over the years.
Yeah, that she has. That one went out of bounds off the hands of a Cedar player. So Weinholt will throw it in, going out to Cook. Autumn Cook's been a little bit overshadowed by Lauren Moffett, but she's had some great performances. She has just as many points on the season, and she still has just as many points on the season. They both scored 2 tonight now with that layup.
So that's just raw speed there by Cook, just blowing past the defense, getting a nice easy look at the rim.
You know, the one thing about this team, they're in such a transition phase, a lot of new players and a lot of new faces, is here's a shot from just inside the 3-point line. That was Olivia Sforza on the 2-point shot there. But this Hempfield team, they're in a big transition mode right now, and they've got a lot of new players, a lot of new combos. This starting lineup looks almost completely different from the one we saw in the opening night of the season. And you gotta wonder, is this what's going to lead Hempfield to the most success? As Riggs was trying to get to Dakota there, but Dakota cut the wrong way, it looks like. A little bit of a miscommunication, and Lebanon will take over.
We mentioned a couple times the shuffling starting lineup. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but Riggs and Dakota were the only 2 of this starting 5 who started the first game of the season.
You're correct. And it's been interesting, and it's, you know, gonna have to see now how everyone else comes in off the bench. Players like Molly McGarry and Sophie Herman, who were starters opening night, were starters part of last season. Now, and here's another steal. That is Moffett, but she gives it right back, trying to get to Weinholt over the middle. Couldn't quite do it. And then fouled, trying to make up for it, on Gianni Correa, who is Lebanon's leading scorer this season.
Yeah, that was a terrible decision made by Bishop. Kind of throwing one over her shoulder and looking where she was passing. Moffett was right there. There was no chance of that ball going through.
Yeah. So let's get caught up on Hempfield's season. They've played 5 games. This is number 6 of 22 in the regular season. Started with the tip-off tournament here at Hempfield. They lost both those games. Lost to Central Dauphin opening night, 41-26. Lost to Solanco in the 3rd-place consolation game, 49-32. But since then, it's been all W's. They went on the road against Ephrata, their first league game, won 39-29. Versus Lower Dauphin in a Keystone Cup game, 29-26, won that one here at Hempfield. And as I mentioned in the Open, they went on the road against Warwick and beat them 37-25 on Monday night.
You notice those are all low-scoring games. Hempfield's calling card this season has been undoubtedly their defense.
Yes.
Tied for second in the LL League in fewest points allowed.
Second total in the LL League out of 2016. Only Section 4's Northern Lebanon has allowed less points this season, as there's another shot from Cook.
And thus far, Cook has just been too fast for his defense to contain. You know, with Moffitt and Dakota, two players who can stretch out of the paint, it's keeping Lebanon's bigs away from the paint, putting a lot of pressure on their guards to stay in front of fast players like Cook. And thus far, Cook has been taking advantage of that.
And it's Cook taking it up here now. 8-3 early score. Hempfield out to an early advantage, and you know, this might be about as much offense as we've seen from Hempfield so far this season. As you said, their hallmark is not their offense. They've only scored 170 points this season, so I'm going to do the quick math in my head. I think that's 34 per game. But they've got 8 here midway on in this first quarter. And an opportunity soon to add more, but here's Lebanon.
Into the Abraham field, number 30,
Oriana Edmond, who was the only sophomore in that starting lineup on opening night, now subs in Moffitt's stead. And we'll likely see pretty much everybody, all 11 members of this Hempfield Black Knights team, on the court at some point tonight.
So when you have a team as small as 11 members, a lot of people are getting a lot of playing time.
Yeah.
And crucially, you have to avoid injury.
Autumn Cook trying to pull out in this first quarter, getting another steal there. And then non-shooting foul there, but Hempfield keeps possession.
Kreider there just was sick and tired of seeing Cook burn this defense. Turn it on the afterburners, getting a nice clean block there. Great
Nice layup there from Oriana Edmond. Gets the Knights to double digits. It's been an explosive start for the Black Knights here. And Cedars haven't had too much to answer quite yet.
So we mentioned earlier how Hempfield's calling card has been their defense. Lebanon, the exact opposite. They have been all offense. They've given up some big numbers to a lot of their opponents. And it was always going to be interesting to see if their offense could score against Hempfield, and if Hempfield's offense could get anything going against a rather porous Lebanon defense. Thus far, it's been all Knights.
Final just not quite able to corral that one there. Molly McGarry and Lauren Riggs both in now for Dakota and Riggs. Or actually, no, for Cook and Riggs. So you got 3 seniors on the court. And then a junior and a sophomore. Here's a shot from 3. Doesn't go. Herman gets the rebound, kind of bounces it over to Edmond. And here's Molly McGarry. And McGarry, they've just really tried, not just her, but also Herman and Riggs just have not been able to get them going so far this season. Will tonight be the night that changes? We shall see.
Basketball's a really finicky sport at times. Sometimes you just go cold for a few games, and you never know when you're going to snap out.
Reinhold off the rebound, puts it through, and with that, Lebanon says, we have seen enough. They take their first time out. It is 12-3, and the Knights off to a big early edge here. This is pretty impressive so far for the Black Knights. As I mentioned, the Cedars have not scored less than 43 all season, and I know we're still in the first quarter, but people have got 3 points to show for it. It's pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, this has been an incredible effort from the Knights so far. This is as crisp as we've seen them on either end of the floor thus far this season.
Yes.
If they can keep this up, this is going to be a dangerous, dangerous team in the LL League.
It's been crazy. I mean, as I said, all those new pieces, the 2 freshmen, if they can just get those other 3 seniors along with Dakota going, McGarry, Riggs, and Herman have combined for 14 points this season. Not what we were expecting entering the season based off of what we saw with these then juniors last year. If they can get them going, this Hempfield team, they could really make some noise in the LL League. And this is a team that has kind of been rebuilding the past couple of years. Relatively new head coach, and head coach Kendra Merrifield in her 3rd season. They only won 12 games for the first 2 seasons. They've got 3 so far this season. And there's a foul committed on number 10, and that is Avril Torres Gutierrez. And she'll be at the line.
And that's just simply Gutierrez beating her defender. I mean, there's nothing you can do there. Just intentionally foul. Don't put it easy to make him earn each point at the line.
Yeah, and that paid off there. She misses the first free throw. Let's see if the second one will go. It will. Edmond gets the rebound, and Hempfield will now attack. McGarry cuts open. Bounce pass inside to Edmond. Back out to Herman, who will drive it and just put a little bit too much on it, but Edmond gets the rebound. Herman gets it back. Here's McGarry, who thought about loading up from the free throw line, but now works back outside. Dakota inside to Edmond. Back to Dakota. Great passing here from Hempfield in this one so far.
Hempfield's really been moving the ball effectively thus far with Lebanon playing a very strict full court man defense. You've got to be able to pass around that.
Dakota got just a little too aggressive there. Called for a traveling foul, and now Lauren Reyes will come back in for Weinhold. 1:43 to go. It's been all nights in this opening quarter. And as you said, in high school, there's no shot clock. So if you can pass the ball well, that's a big hallmark and a big thing to have as McCary, with everybody on her, somehow able to get out of that one, get it away to Herman.
You could describe McGarry's play style in one word. It is shifty. It's all the little movements, little ball movements. Just so hard to corral defensively.
Shifty and also tenacious. She, in the first game of the season against Central Dauphin, got a cut on her knee. As that one's good from 3 from Gutierrez. Or no, actually, that one's that's from Blouch. Yeah. But McGarry had a cut on her knee. Here she's taking a shot. That one doesn't go. Cut on her knee that she didn't notice till halftime. She got it bandaged up there. And I know it hasn't been the start of the season that Molly McGarry would have wanted, but I don't think you can count her out just yet. She is a spark plug, if nothing else, coming off the bench right now. And if they can get her going, man, that would be a big element for this Hempfield team that maybe they're missing a little bit right now.
McGarry gives up size to almost every team that she plays against. For what she lacks in height, she more than makes up for it in just sheer tenacity.
Yes, agreed with that. Nice job by Dakota. Got the ball bounced back to her and then put it up for her 4th point of the night. And coming to the end of the first quarter, Knights have outscored the Cedars 2-1. 14-7 is the score. Can the Cedars add to it? No. That one just a little mishandled there by Blouch.
Interesting to see who Hempfield tries to get this ball to take a last-second heave here. They have 4 seconds. That is plenty of time to get a decent shot off here.
Yeah, they got time to get down the court. Let's see if they can do it. To come to the end of quarter number 1. They'll get it to Riggs, whose only points of the season came on a 3. Here's another one, but that one's just a little too far off the mark. But what a start from Hempfield. 14-7 here in this opening quarter. They came out firing out of the gate pretty well, played pretty good defense the second half of that first quarter. So what can they take to quarter number 2?
I mean, it's simple. Just got to keep running the floor. They have been faster. They've had better ball movement than Lebanon. And if they just keep running in transition, Lebanon has had no answer to stop them. And for Lebanon, they need to get bigger on defense. They have some tall girls that they have sitting on the bench thus far. Maybe try putting one or two of them in and just park them in the paint and see if you can stop a lot of these open looks at the rim.
Gianni Correa, who is averaging 15.8 points per game this season, blanked in quarter number 1.
I believe just 1 shot attempt as well off the top of my head. She has been shut down thus far.
Shut down to this point, but you know about this Cedars team, they are pretty explosive. They took the fight to Cedar Crest on Monday night in a 60-54 loss. And Cedar Crest sitting at 4-2 entering the night. So they're another LL League powerhouse. Hempfield has what looks to be a budding powerhouse building here. Let's see, though, if they can keep it going. As we start quarter number 2. 8 minutes in length. Short pass in, and Hempfield, they just seemed like they controlled that game for the first quarter very well.
Yes, they controlled the tempo of this game. Rather than letting Lebanon get into a groove, Hempfield just frankly ran them off the floor the first quarter.
And we talk about that being kind of the hallmark of Hempfield's basketball teams, both on the boys and the girls side. And So far, it worked. They ran him out into the snow tonight so far.
But you've seen the girls do it a little bit differently from the boys. The boys, it's we're going to get everybody around the perimeter and just pass it around and try to tire you out. With this girls team thus far, it has been we are going to get the ball in the net before you realize what happened.
Yeah.
It's almost playing like the mid-2000s Phoenix Suns. Just fast, get in transition, get running now.
Yeah. I will never tire of your analogies to professional sports teams, my guy.
Thank you, Kasey.
But that's true, and it's been paying off so far. Let's see, though. Now can Hempfield's vaunted defense, I guess, can they get on a stand here and shut down what has been a highly powered Cedars offense to this point? Here's a shot from three, open look and off the rim. Lebanon able to get the rebound and get the ball back. Let's see. No, they'll award possession to Hempfield. Seems like it went off as Blount was going for it there.
Great effort there by Cook and Weinel to save that ball and get Hempfield possession. Love to see hustle like that.
Yeah, you do. Weinel pass into Cook. Weinholt was a member of that girls' soccer team that went all the way to state semifinals. Same for Lauren Riggs, and they didn't have much turnaround. They didn't have much time to rest between that girls' semifinal for the girls' soccer team and the beginning of the girls' basketball season. They didn't really have much time to recover.
And you've got to think maybe for Riggs and Herman, that could be a factor in their slow starts to the season. Just had about a 2-week off season to get ready for basketball.
Yeah.
So as the season progresses, I could see them just exploding as they get their legs under them, just getting more reps of basketball.
Shot from Correa doesn't go. Rebound from Blount doesn't go, and now Moffitt gets it back. Pass out to Weinholt. Just seems like Hempfield's in control right now. They're controlling the tempo, they're controlling the tone, both offensively, defensively. Doesn't seem like anything Lebanon's doing right now is working, and the scoreboard reflects that.
Now, apart from a 3 and a couple fouls, Lebanon's offense has been absolutely anemic tonight. Just haven't been able to create open looks, haven't been able to get to the rim, haven't been able to do anything against a taller and longer and thus far more athletic Hempfield team.
I'll tell you, the trademark for the past couple of years in Hempfield had been you could always expect a little more success from the boys team than the girls team, but start of this season is painting a different picture. The boys sitting at 2-4, crucial game tonight at Lebanon. The girls at 3-2, and you know, all of a sudden this team, who I think everybody could kind of overlook for a couple of years, seems like they're finally starting to get the ship righted here.
We can see just from the crowd size, people have overlooked the girls' basketball team for a couple of years now. It's hard to stick with a team going through a rebuild. Right now, the fruits of that rebuild are really starting to come right.
Well, you got two outstanding freshmen on this team, and as we see a dribble up the middle and without getting fouled, able to put it down and through. That was number 12. It was Olivia Saforza, and she'll get one more shot from the line. But one of the big stories in the LLE for girls basketball so far this season was Katie Bushong from Manhattan Township reaching 1,000 points. You know, the only way that really happens is making an impact from right from the get-go as a freshman. Who knows, a few years, we could be talking about Lauren Moffitt maybe, or Autumn Cook is maybe getting in that position to maybe reach 1,000 points.
Yes, you're absolutely right there, Kasey. I mean, you hate to jinx and knock on wood real quick, but both of those two, with the impact they're having as freshmen, could contend for some big milestones for their careers.
Yeah. It's Cook who has it right now. Here's Dakota. Back out to Cook, back out to Weinholt, out to the perimeter, and
Hempfield just stalling for time here. This is an odd decision. They had such a great rhythm in going fast. Personally, I've never liked it when teams just try to run out the clock, or in the NFL, teams just play like a three-man defense, because it always turns out poorly. If you're up big, stick with what got you there, because obviously something was working in the first place.
What's working right now is a 3 off the backboard from Autumn Cook. That is Cook's 4th made three-point shot of the season. That leads the Black Knights through 5 1/3 games, something like that.
Yeah, Yes, the Knights are not really a
Nice pass
three-point
by the
shooting
right.
team. They are a drive to the basket and hit close looks team.
Yeah. But for Cook, she's got that ability, and she's early on proving herself to be one of this team's best shooters.
Yes. No matter what your team's makeup is, it is so helpful to have a couple people who can shoot. If you have someone who can shoot, you drag a defender further away from the paint, it just opens up lanes for everybody to get to the basket.
That it does. Here's Cook once more. Trying to add to it. It looked like she might have been caught. Is that a traveling foul there? Couldn't quite catch the signal.
Missed the signal as well there. Either way, it is Lebanon's ball.
It is, and that'll be a turnover that they desperately needed. Now down by 10. And it's Correa to take it up. We have not seen much from Gianni. Well, we haven't seen anything from Gianni Correa tonight. We've gotten off to such a great start. Let's see.
Yes, it's been a very concerted effort from Hempfield. Notice the much taller Dakota guarding Correa rather than one of Hempfield's guards. They are trying to just keep the ball away from Correa at all costs.
And there's the kibosh for me. As I was talking about Correa not doing anything, she makes her first three-point shot of the night, and that is number 8 on the season for her.
It's a nice block there by number 5, Bishop. It's just great timing.
Bryn Axe comes in for Lindsay Dakota, the senior. Axe has made an impact on this team as well, as have pretty much just about everyone. She's going to get the first look here.
It's an accident impact just as her brother Connor.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, yep. We talk about the Moffitt family, but same case scenario for the Axes. And Autumn Cook's nice start to the night is continuing. That's her 9th point of the night. A nice layup there, 21-12. 3:17 to go in half number 1.
This Lebanon just had no answers for Cook. You need to leave help in the paint just to keep Cook from driving at will. Because right now you are having no success stopping her at the perimeter.
Another shot from 3 by Blau. Keeps Lebanon in it, and all of a sudden, well, you get the feeling this is starting to get a little more of an offensive game. Here's Axe driving to the net and getting there.
You mentioned a little more offense. Blauk's starting to heat up from deep. If you have somebody who's just hitting threes, just keep feeding them.
No, here's another one. That one's just a little bit off. But Cook not quite able to win the rebound there. And then Riggs trying hard to go down and steal it away from Zylis D'Arce. And she'll be called for the foul there.
Tried a little too hard on that one, Kasey.
Yeah. But that's also different ways you can get steals. Here comes McGarry in for Riggs. Hempfield blanketing right now. Now gives up the open look outside. They got a long way to go, though, to the Cedars. Correa up to Blau. Drive, and looks like got fouled on the way there by Edmond. Looks like we will be into 1-1 here in a bonus after that foul. 7th foul of the game for the Black Knights. That's the one thing the Knights have not necessarily done very well tonight, is in the foul game. Cedars only have 2. Knights now have 7 in this opening half.
Yes, Lebanon has had success with 2 things offensively. They've had a few open looks from 3. They converted pretty well, and they've been able to get to the foul line. They have not had nearly as much success converting those looks from the foul line.
Yeah.
They've been getting there.
Dakota gets the rebound, takes it up. Out to Axe, who looked to drive, now will look to pass. Nice bounce pass to Cook. That's the definition of an assist right there. Autumn Cook with a little help from her friend, Bryn Axe, the sophomore.
That is a clinic tape on how to lead a player driving to the basket with a bounce pass.
Oh, there's a nice steal. And what an effort by Dakota down there to keep possession of the ball. Axe trying to draw the foul. Didn't draw the foul, but keeps possession as it went all out off of the Cedars.
That was number 2, Cedars. I don't know if you call that a block or a steal, but they knocked the ball away.
They knocked the ball away, but it ultimately didn't work. Here's McGarry for a shot and just a little off. McGarry just put a little bit too much power on that layup there.
A little too much mustard on that shot.
Oh, boy. Knew that one was coming. Now where's the ball don't lie reference?
It's coming, Kasey. Don't worry.
Oh, we got a whole other half yet. All right. 1:39 to go. And counting, 25-15. Knights over the Cedars, trying to get to 4-2. As that one goes out, they'll have another home game. This is the first of 3 home games for the Black Knights. They'll have another home game Friday against Conestoga Valley, and then a non-league game on Saturday against Wilson before they'll head up to State College for the tourney. Here's Cook getting ready to take it up. So this is a very crucial stretch for Hempfield and an opportunity to maybe pile up some more wins here. Keep this win streak going.
For Hempfield, this is going to be a huge stretch of games for these
pass.
youngsters, trying to prove themselves, cement themselves as a real contender in this league. And if they can keep playing the way they've played tonight, this is looking like a contender.
This is another great pass from Brent Axe there inside to Lindsay Dakota, who in the paint had an easy look for 2. And there's Weinhold getting it away, and now in a sprint down the court, can Weinhold get their layup? And it goes.
Reinhold.
Wow. Talk about an offensive explosion. Compared to what we've seen so far this season from the Knights, this is impressive.
You can just tell Lebanon is defeated right now. The way they just didn't hustle to get back on defense there. They're looking up at that scoreboard thinking, what the heck is happening right now?
Yeah.
They have had their fair share of losses this season, but they've all been very tight.
close
they
games.
have not had the roofs blown off their doors like they have thus far tonight.
Under 30 seconds to go, and Cook gonna take her time for now. McGarry gets open, and McGarry gets it.
Hempfield perhaps holding for a last shot.
Yeah,
here.
I think that's
Probably don't want to shoot this ball until there's about 5 seconds left on the clock.
Cook, middle, Dakota. Now they gotta take it, and couldn't quite get the rebound there off the missed layup. That gives the Cedars one more shot as the clock ticks down. 5 seconds to go. Shot from just behind the free throw line from Correa doesn't go, and they're not going to get the final shot off. And that's how this one is going to end in half number 1. The Knights put up 29 here at home. 29-15 is the score at half, and these Black Knights are on a roll right now, red hot. Going to be very interesting to watch and see how this all unfolds.
Your first half fan of the game, Max Holly.
Got the first half fan of the game here as we're hearing from the girls soccer head coach, Jason Mackey, who's also the PA announcer for the basketball games here. But what a first half it was for the Black Knights, and we will be back to start the second half in just a little bit. My colleague Ben Marinas, producer Connor Sensenig, and we'll be back here on HST TV7. You've been watching girls basketball. And hi everybody, welcome back to the Buchanan Gymnasium, and we are ready to start half number 2 of action between the Black Knights and the Cedars, and it was all Black Knights in half number 1, 29-15. My colleague Ben Marinas, producer Connor Sensenig, and Ben, I think all we can say, we're a little bit surprised with what we've seen from this Black Knights team offensively, a team that has not put up more than 39 points all season. That first half showed us a completely different picture.
You mentioned surprise there. More pleasantly surprised than bad surprise.
Yeah.
This has been a welcome change of pace for this offense.
And they come out firing again. Autumn Cook trying for a second 3 of the night. That one just a little bit off the mark. Rebound by Correa. And Correa's got to get going, you think, if the Cedars are going to make any sort of a comeback.
Well, so far, it's been Lauk and nothing else for this Cedars offense.
Pretty much. She has 7 of the 15 points on the board. And a pass there, bad pass over the middle.
Pass. Oh my goodness.
Trying to set up. That was Olivia Uffner. And Dakota just picked it off. Briggs. Moffitt, who was held relatively quiet, was Lauren Moffitt in that first half of action. And now here's Cook. Out to Weinhold. Got all 5 of the starters back in to start the second half, as you'd expect. And we have seen 9 players total. Wow. What a pass there from Cook to Dakota. And Dakota now, who leads the team in points. Will probably still lead the team in points after the end of the night. She's got 10 on the night so far.
Lauren Cook might be coming for that crown sooner rather than later. Autumn Cook. My apologies.
You're good. Don't want to get these two crossed up, though. They are both playing out of their minds right now. And you got to think, I mean, they talk about freshmen. You don't see it very often at the varsity level. These two freshmen are not just on the varsity team. They are starters on the varsity team, and they're pretty darn good.
Yeah, coming into this game, they were tied for second on the team in scoring behind just Dakota.
Yeah.
And after tonight, they'll be second and third, most likely. Still, an incredible season from two freshmen.
Yeah. You just don't see that very often. That's something special and something that's got to inspire Coach Merrifield moving forward. Even with the seniors this team will be losing. The one thing that's interesting for this Hempfield team, they didn't have a lot of seniors to replace from last season. They only lost 4, and Sarah McCullough, one of them, was hurt for most of the season, so they really only had 3. As here's Riggs that just bounces through. And she finally gets back on the board. She's been held relatively quiet offensively this season. But they really only had 3 seniors last season. Melissa Grube, Madeline Sahoyne, and HSD TV 7 alum Lauren Daigle were the only seniors that departed this team. And as we mentioned, last year the juniors, this year seniors, they played a big role in the starting lineup last season. This season, though, it's been all about those 2 fantastic freshmen. And a great steal from Moffitt there, who was safe at second on the slide, getting the steal away. And she got fouled then on the way. Off the pass from Dakota.
Looks like Lebanon finally starting to change up their defensive strategy, trying to double down low, trying to not give up as many easy looks from point-blank range. It's a welcome change for the Cedars.
Cedars take a timeout, down by 16. And when they get out of it, Moffitt will be shooting from the line. She leads the team in free throw attempts this season. This will be her 26th upcoming, so she knows how to get to the line, no doubt about it. And that's a crucial skill to have, especially when you're as tall as she is, standing in at 6 feet.
Yes, and the bigger issue for people down low who get fouled a lot isn't getting to the foul line. That's just a given. It's making those foul shots.
Yeah.
And Moffitt, she's young. She's just a freshman, as we keep saying. So a lot of times just the nerves of being a freshman will get there. And thus far this season, she has been shaky from the line. But that's one of those things that as the season progresses, that free throw percentage doesn't look right now, but it's going to steadily climb and climb and climb.
That percentage was 52%, 13 of 25, but a lot of that damage was done against the Warwick Warriors on Monday. She only made 1 of her 8 foul shots in that game. So that helped do a lot of the damage to that percentage. Now we shall see if she can get that percentage back up. And a point here, a made free throw would get the lead back to double for the Black Knights. And they only need 6 more points with 5:02 here in the third to match their season high, which they achieved twice. Once in a loss to Solanco and the other in a win against Ephrata.
So you can call me a prophet, but I think they might hit that point total tonight.
Don't jinx it, we'll see. That one just spins out of the net. She'll get one more shot though. Yep, true to form, so 1 for 2 from the line tonight, and that's about par for the course for Moffitt so far this season. So here is Kreider taking it up, trying to pass outside are the Cedars. Torres Gutierrez, pass back to Kreider over the middle. Driving, nice pass outside, and an open look for Torres Gutierrez, but off the mark, and a great rebound by Dakota.
Sprinting down the court is Dakota.
Well, yeah, and they had an open shot there. Nice pass over to Moffitt, and she makes the Cedars pay.
See.
And that 2-on-1 down there.
Saw Moffitt immediately going over, high-fiving Dakota. It's a great job running the floor in transition. It's been the theme of the nights thus far. Hempfield just outrunning Lebanon all over the place.
All right, here's Correa trying to finally get going, and there she goes. Her second made 3 of the night. Puts her up to 8 points on the night, cuts the deficit to 16. Still got a lot of work to do, not a ton of time to do it.
Yes. Lebanon, even though they're down right now, they're built to make big comebacks. You've seen them. They are a big three-point shooting team. They can close deficits in a hurry if a couple shooters get hot at the right time.
Cook wasn't quite able to get that open layup look there, just missed it a little bit. Cedars get the rebound. Can they do any damage with it? Hempfield team, they're playing aggressive tonight. That's one other thing I've noticed. And we talked about the fouls they had in the first half. Obviously it doesn't look great, but it's a sign they're going after and going for the ball.
Yeah, fouls are not always a bad thing. In other sports, in football, penalty is almost always a bad thing. In basketball, there are a lot of times where fouling is a good thing. And it shows a lot of tenacity. And if you can go out there and foul and play hard, but most importantly, not foul out, then that can be huge for a team.
Yeah, Lauren Riggs, the senior, did foul out in a game earlier this season. Nice pass from Moffitt to Cook.
Less a pass, more a handoff there.
High five from the freshman. Put Cook up to 13 on the night now. Now they're 1 point away from that 39-point threshold. Here's a shot off the mark.
Nothing but nothing on that one.
Yeah, unfortunately for Uffner. And now they're subbing in big time for Hempfield. Edmond, Herman, and McGarry come in for Riggs, Cook, and Moffitt.
For the Black Mama McGarry, Sophie Herman, and Morgana Edmond.
And McGarry trying to come in, make an impact here real quick as she gets the inbound pass from Weinholt. Back to Weinholt. Got to get it across half court. They do. Now Weinholt driving.
Bit of an odd lineup here for Hempfield as McGarry and Weinhold, both more a point guard type, thrive with the ball in their hands, run the offense through them. It'll be interesting to see how they balance that. It's a bit of an odd fit, but if you can make it work, it is incredibly dangerous to have two point guard type players on the floor at once.
Sforza will pass it in here to Correa. As a foul there committed by Edmond, her third of the night.
You mentioned fouling out earlier. Edmond getting up into high foul numbers, one of the things it can do to you is it makes you play more passively.
Yeah.
You're afraid of fouling out. You don't want that to happen, obviously.
Here's Dakota. Now driving off the missed shot. Herman back to Weinholt. He's open for a sec. Here's McGarry. Looking back to Dakota, and that's like a shot from three, first of the night, just off the rim, but Herman does a nice job getting the rebound. I think Dakota thought about it again. Now they're passing around the key. McGarry to Weinholt, tries to drive, and I believe just got that left foot out of bounds. Yeah, trying to skirt the end line there, and was not able to do it. And now Bryn Axe will come in for Dakota.
You saw McGarry there. Maybe the slow start might get into her head a little bit, but passing up an open look that you'd normally expect her to take. I mean, that's a shot. If you're McGarry, you're a senior, you've been a key cog in this team. That's the look you're hoping for.
Yeah. McGarry averaged just under 5 points a game last season. This season has been a different story so far. Good news is they still got 16 more games after tonight to try and get her going, along with some of those other seniors we documented in the first half. But the freshmen have been picking up the slack so far, along with the always dependable Lindsay Dakota. Here's a shot again from Correa, who fell down but still made the shot go.
Correa trying to draw a foul.
Yeah.
It didn't look like there was contact from this angle. But, I mean, if you can fall, you get an extra point there.
Yeah.
The ref was not fooled that time, much to the chagrin of Lebanon's coach.
Why not give it a shot in that situation? Here's McGarry driving. Pass back to Weinholt. Nice pass from McGarry. Weinholt shot just off the mark. And looked like it was Axe down there getting the rebound, but had to travel a little bit to do it. So after all that, Lebanon gets it back. 51 seconds to go in quarter number 3.
You can just hear the difference in who's screaming right now. It is Lebanon's bench, and it is Lebanon's JV players sitting in the stands. That is all the noise in this arena right now. Lebanon has the momentum now.
But a mental mistake from Gianni Correa. She traveled. That was kind of a LeBron James type just travel there.
That's Russell Westbrook walking up the floor, barking out instructions, just forgets to dribble.
A little bit of a mental error there from Correa, and it gives Hempfield the ball back Lead is still 13 for the Black Knights. McGarry trying to get Weinold open, finally did. And Weinold now passes out to Axe. McGarry cuts, middle, thought about stepping back. Here's Herman out to Weinold, out to Axe.
Great renewed vigor defensively for Lebanon. They have not defended like this all night until they feel that this game is theirs right now, even though they're down by 13.
Yeah. That's just the thing, though. Is it too little too late for the Cedars? As they just commit the foul there. And subbing in for Olivia Sforza is number 13, Dorothy Zeckman. Here's Weinold out to Herman. Herman back to McGarry, taking a look. Weinold, high pass over to Axe, who will drive it, get it knocked away, gets it back, and here's Herman from just inside. That's off the mark. And they're calling out the end line there as Weinold tried to get it in bounds.
They called a push there.
Yeah, they did.
Hard to tell which Cedar did the deed.
It was Dorothy Zeckman they called it on, who had just come in the game. 3 seconds to go, 3.6 seconds to go.
That's an inbounds violation for the Knights. Great defense by Lebanon to force a violation. Just nowhere for Weinold to go with that inbounds pass.
That's an unfortunate situation for Hempfield. They had a chance to maybe get some last-second points there before the quarter. Now, see if they can hold the Cedars for the last 3.6 seconds. Interesting strategy. They roll the ball. And then Weinold tries to get back on top of it.
That's a good strategy there. The clock doesn't start till you touch that ball.
That's a good strategy.
Not a lot of time left, but waited just a half second too long to actually grab the ball.
Just Weinold read it out. The Cedars still keep possession. They got 7/10 of a second left, and it's got to be a shot right here, and Zeckman couldn't get turned around quickly enough. That's how quarter number 3 ends. 38-25. Black Knights still with the advantage, and 8 minutes away from, knock on wood, maybe if they can hang on, a 4-2 record. So we shall see if they can keep that one going. For the Cedars, though, I think that third quarter, best they've played all night.
Easily the best they've played all night.
As you said, it might be too little too late, but what can you build from that right now? If you're head coach Jamie Walborn, what are you telling your girls? I mean, you got to look at the scoreboard and say this is going to be tough to come back from, but if they play the way they did, maybe it's possible. Yeah,
there's a lesson to be learned from this game. If you come out in the first quarter playing like they just did the third quarter, then you're not in a 13-point hole. You're coming out and you're maybe up by 13. Just the energy, the fire they played with there, that's something that you can transfer on the rest of this season. But you've got to keep your troops motivated.
Yeah, that you do. For Hempfield, though, and I feel like we've kind of beat this horse a little bit to death, but it seems like we are witnessing the changing of a guard here for this Hempfield team. Those 2 new freshmen in there, when you add it in with Dakota, the reliable senior, and the other role-makers they have, Bryn Axe, Oriana Edmond, both sophomores, and then just Weinold the junior, this team's got a lot of potential for the future even after this season. And I mean, don't even start me on this season. They get ready to maybe go to 4-2 here if they can hang on.
Yes, this is going to be an exciting group to watch for years to come. Unfortunately, we probably won't be around much to see them.
We won't be, but for the Hempfield faithful that will. As travel there by Weinold, who was trying to juke out.
A big crossover there.
They are
a James Harden-esque move there. Just a little too much overextension there and lost her balance.
Weinold out here trying to break some ankles, but didn't quite work that time. Now they're playing a full court press. Being aggressive, trying to get some steals, takeaways that they had in the first quarter, but really haven't had many since then.
Bit of an odd decision to switch to a full court press here with a lead. Kind of want to nurse it a little bit. I know I warned earlier against being cautious, but you don't want to be overly aggressive. With a full court press, if it goes wrong, it's a free ball.
Bouncing off everybody and going down hard was D'Arce there as the ball got knocked around. Lauren Moffitt might have made head-to-head contact with her there. It was tough to tell, but both players get up and appear to be okay. D'Arce with a little bit of a limp, but she'll stay in.
That Moffitt there just going for the ball. Did not see D'Arce at all. A big collision. and looking for D'Arce. She was on the wrong side of that one.
D'Arce
Hard
gets it
ball
back
there.
here. Pass all the way outside, back down to D'Arce. Driving. And Correa to the net, gets the rebound, and then just throws it up and got fouled on the way there, so she'll be at the line shooting 2. Interesting to see how this is unfolded. 7:04 to go. But the Cedars with a chance to cut the deficit to 11.
Shooting 2.
If Correa can make both of these, 13 points tonight for her. That one doesn't go. But after the slow start, she's gotten back to her more usual form here in half number 2.
This is the Correa that we're used to seeing. This is just a dominant go-to scorer.
And that one, right down Broadway, 38-26. Dakota got a tip as she was trying to get over to Cook, who's still able to track the ball nicely, get back to it, and allow Hempfield to keep possession. Moffitt in a fight for it, and got it away finally, but the Cedars looks like they'll get possession back after all that. Moffitt was in a fight for it there as she was blanketed by the Cedar defender off the pass from Autumn Cook.
You saw Moffitt there throwing some elbows. Just both these teams playing with fire right now. This is a bad out there.
And that was a nice forced error there. Jess Weinhold had pressure all in the face of the passer for the Cedars, trying to get it over to Madison Bishop. And that forced the throw to be just a little errant, and Hempfield to get possession.
It's behind the back move there by Cook. With a fancy ball handler.
Well, why not? Timeout now taken by the Black Knights. 6:29 to go. Hasn't been quite as explosive for the Knights, but they've come in and they've done their job so far in half number 2, but things far from over. Have to wait and see. 6:29 to go, and the Cedars have been on a little bit of a run as of late, with Correa being able to get going.
One of the things that tends to happen when you have a big lead, you've been playing well, you tend to take your foot off the gas a little bit, rest on your laurels. Oh, we got this. And Hempfield's seeing out, this is a dangerous Lebanon team. You can't keep your foot off the gas for long, or else they are going to take advantage. They're going to get back into this game. Hey, Hempfield's credit, they haven't completely stalled out. Lebanon, they've gotten some momentum back at times, but this is still a double-digit lead. Hempfield still kept their distance here, but it's a dam just waiting to break right now.
That's
Hempfield's
true.
got to patch a lot of holes.
Alrighty. Let's see. 12-point game. And I agree, it's nice to have that lead, but you gotta make sure you can keep it. Here's Riggs with an inbound pass to Cook. Looking out to Weinhold, who bobbled it. Now looking for somebody to pass it to. Riggs comes open. Cook, like a ballerina, having to spin around and go get it. Dakota all the way across the court to Moffitt. Lebanon trying to play good defensively, and Cook thought about it. Dakota had an open look for a sec, but gets covered. Still, though, this passing eating a lot of clock up, and that's important for Hempfield right now. Nice pass from Cook to Dakota. Back to Cook, back to Riggs, who was left alone on the other side of the court. And here's Dakota finally taking a shot, but that one just off the mark. Cook not able to get the rebound there with Bishop on her. Now Lebanon will take a timeout after about 40 seconds of gameplay.
Yes, even though they didn't come away with points there, that's a productive possession for Hempfield at this point. Just roll clock, trying to get as much time off the clock as possible. When you're up, just get 3 zeros up there and you win.
Yeah, that's all that really matters right now for the Knights and the Cedars. So we've talked about this crucial 3-game stretch for Hempfield. What's next for the Cedars? They will play they'll play versus back at home. They'll play versus Penn Manor on Friday. And then they will start off in the Lebanon Holiday Tournament that they will host start off playing against the J.P. McCaskey Red Tornadoes in that one. So both these teams starting to get right in the thick of the season here.
So the early part of the season for many teams, it's not really the start of your year until you get into league play.
Yeah.
And right now teams starting to get into league play, starting to face the teams that they're competing for playoff spots with. That's when it really starts to turn into the season.
Zekman driving, got fouled by Dakota, so to the line she'll go, a shooting foul, and so the Cedars have a chance now. But they've not been all that great shooting from the line tonight. So we'll see. First one, though, nothing but net for Zekman. And second one got a little bit of rim, but it goes through. 38-28. Now Zekman will sub out, and Saforza comes back in her stead. 5:30 to go.
Hempfield's offense has gone ice.
Another inbound violation there from Dakota, and that's just a credit to the Lebanon Cedars defense not allowing anybody to come open.
Yes, where's this fire been? Where's this in the first half for Lebanon? They have been locking down on defense and playing great offensively.
That pass still just a little too high there, trying to set up Correa outside again, who we know is dangerous on the perimeter. But couldn't get it to her. So now Dakota, this time making sure not to inbound it. Long pass down the court to Cook. Perfect layup. And it gets the Knights past that 39-point mark, and then Moffitt gets it off the rebound.
It also ends a long scoring count. Off the top of my head, about 5-6 minutes without points for the Knights. And that's one way to get back on the board.
Well, we've seen those droughts a couple times this season, but not there. We saw this Hempfield team as Cook got called for traveling. She doesn't agree with it. It's tough to tell from here, and she's still kind of trying to plead her case a little bit. But for Hempfield, they're not winning. It's Court Dawson. Second and third quarter, they scored 4 points combined. We've seen these dry spells for the Black Knights, but we can also see this offensive explosion a few times here or there.
And with such a young team, keep harping on the freshmen, the sophomores, the juniors, inconsistency is something to be expected, especially early on. As the season goes on, though, as they get deeper into their league schedule, you've got to find somebody who you can go to when things are dry. Say, okay, we need a bucket. You need to get this for us right now.
And in most cases in the past, that's been Lindsay Dakota. Tonight, it's been Autumn Cook for the most part. As Dakota looks like she got fouled there.
You mentioned Dakota's previously been a go-to scorer. She's been more of a distributor thus far. Really running the offense, running the fast break, getting the ball out all over the place.
She does have 10 points tonight, but it doesn't really seem that way. Moffitt, nice layup there. Points 6 and 7 on the night for her. 42 for the Knights. It is 42-28. We come down to 4 minutes to play in this one. And Hempfield is trying to hang on at this point, but still playing aggressively as that one just spins its way through the net. Off of Correa. And for Correa, I mean, she's done her part tonight, especially in the second half. 16 points up on the scoreboard, but the problem is that's more than half the points the Cedars have scored all night.
Yes, this team's been all Correa in the second half. I mentioned earlier, Blau hit a few big shots in the first half. She's been cold the second half. Nothing's been working for the Cedars second half other than Correa. And Correa's been working great. She's put up big numbers again. But at some point, you're going to figure out how to shut Correa down like Hempfield did in the first half. And you got to find a number 2 and a number 3 who can carry the load for a little bit.
In the past, that's been Olivia Offner, but she's been relatively quiet tonight as well. She's second on the team in scoring, 8.8 points per game. But tonight, they've taken her out of the game plan for the most part. And for Hempfield, I guarantee you the coach from Coach Merrifield to these girls right now is, let's get out of here. It's snowy, it's icy outside. I think we all just want to go home. Let's just finish this off, get a W, and play on to Friday.
Big things right now. You've got to avoid injury. First of all, avoid a collapse. Just don't completely self-destruct. You also want to look to avoid injury. You've seen some crushing injuries on the boys' side with Connor Elslager.
Yeah.
And you want to avoid any sort of altercation. Don't do anything stupid.
Dakota got tripped up there trying to get open.
Scary sight there for Coach Merrifield. Dakota, back in her freshman year, did suffer an ACL tear. Anytime you see her go to the ground like that, hold your breath for a minute. Yeah. Is she going to get up? Is she going to be holding her knee?
And we've talked about this team's got they've got a good amount of playmakers, but Dakota is still their go-to girl. As she airmails it there to Axe, but Britt Axe has done a great job passing tonight. Let's just say that for what it is. Axe. Trying to get to Cook. Eventually it was Moffitt who forced a stoppage there as there was a fight for the ball.
Britt Axe is a little bit taller than your typical point guard. Hempfield's got a lot of girls who are great distributors, but the way Axe has been passing, I think maybe try her out running the point a little bit in the future.
Yeah. And just looking at the stat sheet, I know she hasn't put up a ton of points this season coming off the bench, but she's not the sole three-point shooter that we see her brother is on the boys' side. She does have one made three on the season, but she can shoot it and pass it very well. And there's a point up the middle, really trying to force him and press him there. That was Bishop, her first points of the night for Madison Bishop on that first made field goal.
The Knights, you can tell right now, they're just trying to run Lebanon off the line. Don't let Lebanon get an open three. And when you do that, you're going to give up open looks at the rim.
Weinholt got knocked down, and coaches are not happy at all for Lebanon, as they thought they called a push, but Lebanon didn't see a push there.
Yeah, from this angle, I have to agree with Lebanon here. That just looked like Weinholt tripped. It happens.
Yeah. That was called on D'Arce. So Moffitt off the inbound pass from Weinholt. Dakota, second try goes after the first one did not. And Dakota's just been solid like a rock all night long. Holding foul there against Jessica Weinholt.
Weinholt's first foul of the night. Hempfield, you can just see on the scoreboard, every player in this game has fouls. Edmonds, I believe, had 4 before she was taken out. Hempfield is fouling quite a bit tonight. But Lebanon has been unable to really capitalize on that.
And I mean, hey, look at the scoreboard. There's Moffitt getting the rebound off the missed field goal from Correa. Correa trying to blanket Cook, who makes a nice move.
Behind the back, oh my goodness.
And right afterwards, Hempfield takes a timeout inside 2 minutes. I'll tell you, Autumn Cook has been a little hot and cold this season. It was kind of quiet past couple games after a really good start, but tonight she has really gotten back in a rhythm tonight.
Yeah, her play tonight belies her age, showing some advanced dribble moves that I couldn't dream of doing without falling flat on my face.
Oh, I bet.
And most seniors in this league probably couldn't pull off some of the things she's done tonight.
And I say it again, but as a freshman, they've still got so much more time to develop. I mean, they got 3 3/4 more years of this, you know, so you can only imagine how good she'll be in a little while.
Yeah, imagine how good Cook will be. Gets 3 more off seasons of weight room, maybe grows a few inches, gets to hone her game a little bit more.
Yeah.
That is a dangerous, dangerous player right there.
I can tell you. And looks like they'll keep the same grouping in for Hempfield they had in before. Britt Axe will inbound it. to Cook. And Cook. Once again, showing off those moves, trying to get somebody open. Worked for Axe. Now to Coda. Looking. And gets tripped up over herself, but it bounces to Axe. Correa tried to corral it.
She is trying for a steal. She is swiping like crazy.
Yeah.
Lindsay says we're swiper, no swiping. Not letting her get that steal.
The wise words of Dora the Explorer, the great prophet.
Swiped online, Kasey.
That's enough for me for one night. But here's Dakota. Hempfield taking a lot of clock off, down to 70 seconds and counting. Cook gets it knocked away, and gets it knocked away again. As that was Bishop there just trying to draw a foul, but actually timeout taken here. And again by Hempfield with 61 seconds to play.
If you're Hempfield, you can keep doing what you're doing. You can run this clock out without another shot being attempted in this game.
Wow. I think we're still trying to figure out, really as we get into league play, what is this Hempfield team going to do against some of the really good teams that they will play in the future? Of course, Manheim Township, the Blue Streaks, out to a great start at 5-1. You got Cedar Crest, the Falcons, out there at 4-2. E-Town out there at 3-2. They'll play later in the season, but they've had some nice wins this season, including handing Ephrata, who was 4-2 entering the night, one of their only 2 losses, to start what is about to become a 4-game win streak for the Lady Knights. Here's Moffitt, and fouled on the way to the net. About as easy as it gets there to call.
Yep.
And Moffitt will get...
Stevie Wonder could have called that one.
And Moffitt will get another chance to up that free throw percentage.
Off the line, shooting 2.
I'll tell you, this is been a heck of a night for the Black Knights. Offensively, they slowed down a little bit in half number 2. Still, they don't blow you away with the amount of points they put up, but I think what we saw tonight is great defense, and they made some great offensive plays when they needed to.
Yeah, Hempfield. It's two big things. It's defense and it's getting out in transition. And if you can do those 2 things well, you're a threat against anybody you play on any given night.
Well, Moffitt's helping out that free throw percentage there, drilling both of those to 46-32. Cedars trying for one last push. Here's Correa from 3, and she's got it. Correa might have 20 points by the end of the night. She needs one more to get there. Yeah. But unfortunately, that's been the extent of the Cedars offense tonight.
Yeah, it's been just 3-pointers. They've shot incredibly well from beyond the arc tonight, but just can't consistently get good looks. That's the problem. And they've created a countless number of turnovers tonight. Hempfield just jumping passing lanes all over the place.
Knights in the bonus here, so it's 1-1. And Dakota missed it, but Moffitt gets the rebound to give him 2. She's got double-digit points in the night, as do Cook and Dakota. And here's a shot from just inside the line. Drilled by Blau to get it back to 38-37. But all in what is likely, well, that fat lady's warming up right now, but what is likely a losing effort inside 30 seconds here as Lebanon takes a timeout.
Yes, and if you're Lebanon, you can't be happy with the outcome of this game, but the way they played this second half, that's something as a coach, you look at that and say, if we can transfer this for the next few games, then we can flip this outcome. If they played the whole game the way they played these third and fourth quarters, this would be a much tighter game, maybe even see Lebanon on top of this one right now.
Blackboard material. I hear you say that all the time. That's something that the Cedars can use on the blackboard or whiteboard. I guess, well, maybe they still use blackboards. I don't know. It depends how technical some of these schools have gotten in recent years. Whether it's blackboards or whiteboards, no matter what they use, they can. They'll use that as a talking point, I'm sure, at a Friday's game. And again, Dakota gets fouled on the way up, and as we said, Knights in the bonus now, so any foul is going to be a shot at the line.
Lindsay Dakota at the line.
So this is the part of basketball games where everything slows down. It's intentional fouling. And if Hempfield makes their shots, they win this game. And if they miss their shots at this point,
They win this
quite
game.
frankly, they win this game.
And they might put up 50. They got 49 right now. Dakota has 13, going for 14, and nailed just a little bit off the rim.
think
So
you
50
jinxed
might
him,
have to
Kasey.
wait. I don't know. Let's see. Ain't over yet. With how aggressive the Cedars are playing, Hempfield might get it back, and they do. Axe to Cook, and she gets fouled pretty clearly. And we'll go back to the line again. 9th foul of the half for the Cedars.
I hate to be that guy, but why are you still fouling at this point?
Yeah,
You're
it
down
was-
by 12 points with 16 seconds left.
Just
At this point, it's bad conditions out there. Snow's coming down. Just let's get home.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but you know. Here's Cook. And there you
And
go.
there's 50.
There's 50.
Okay, Lebanon, now you can stop fouling.
Oh boy. Well, unfortunately for the Cedars, they'll fall to 1-5 after this one is they'll try and get her own missed free throw.
What is happening?
Autumn Cook. I'll tell you what, well, do not blame her for a lack of effort. I'm just going to say that right now. Inside 10 seconds. I think we're all ready to go home. As the Knights are going to go to 4-2.
As the
And they're
cheerleaders
going to
are
end
saying,
it like that.
the cheerleaders are saying, hey, we just won. What
And
a
they
game
did.
for the Knights.
Final score 50-37, and wow, what a night for the Knights. I think this was a statement game for the Black Knights, putting up 50, which, you know, for girls basketball is not too shabby in high school.
Very
And-
unshabby indeed.
And it's improving to 4-2, and I think we got a first-hand look tonight. This team's a dark horse in the LL League this season. See if they can keep it going. Ben, final thoughts from you on the night?
You know, Hempfield's been tinkering around with their rotations, their starting lineups thus far this season. I think they might have found a winner here tonight.
I agree.
The way they played tonight, offensively, defensively, that is as complete of a game as I've seen a girls basketball team from Hempfield play in a couple years, quite frankly.
We will have to see how it all unfolds. There's a nice little headshot here. So, for my colleague Ben Marinas, I'm Kasey Kreider, producer Connor Sensening behind the camera, giving you the great shots throughout the night. And we say so long from the Buchanan Gymnasium. The Hempfield girls basketball team improves to 4-2 on the season and cements themselves as potential playoff contenders in the LL League.